Hey everyone, welcome back to another Draco Reacts and Vlogs. And before everyone gets in, and you guys get into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also leave a comment on the channel. It will definitely help my channel out. But today, in the last video that I mentioned on my channel, I noticed that the only thing we've gotten so far is a midfielder, not midfielder, two players that we signed on loan in January that we made permanent. That, in my opinion, I don't think are good enough for the squad. Paid $10 million to get a new manager to come in because he sacked Ange Postecoglou after our season was over, despite him winning a trophy in his second season like he always promises. And nothing really happened in transfer window when I last posted my last video. But in this video, we're actually getting some stuff done. I'll explain first. So in June, besides the changes that happened that I mentioned in the last video, no new signs have come in to strengthen our squad. Because our squad, yes, while we've won a trophy for the first time in nearly 2 decades, there's still some issues that our squad needs to address to fix upon and also build upon that win, if you know what I'm saying. And I was reading Levy's reasoning for sacking Ange is because he wanted to win everything. But if you buy that logic, why don't you invest in the squad? I guess give the manager the budget that he needs to invest in the squad to make the changes. But and I thought this was going to happen with Thomas Frank, because we've seen it happen with Jose, we've seen it happen with Pochettino, we've seen it happen with Nuno, and we see it happen with Conte and then Ange as well. But I don't know what happened to Levy overnight. He must have maybe saw my video and demanded for a change. I know there were some protests going on with this club recently that I need to look into, but we've made some new signs already. First, we signed a defender, Kota Takai, from the Japanese league. I don't know how good this guy is because I never seen him play in the Japanese league, or to be specific, I never watched the Japanese league. But we have to see if he can do a job when both our center backs are injured, or if they're not performing well, or if he's getting a start. We have to see. Then this week we've signed Mohammed Kudus for $55 million. So why I say it isn't a bad signing, because I've seen his performance at West Ham. He can do job physicality, but sometimes you can't really count on him to do specifically. And for me, I would say if he's at $55 million to get Bowen, I wouldn't say this. I would probably take Kudus now that we have signed him, because honestly, I think some physicality will be needed on the wing, especially since Son, our captain, his legs has been gone so far. And Richie, he can do a job sometimes, but the man is injury prone. And of course, he also misses some important sitters. And then Tell, same thing as Richie. He doesn't, but without getting injuries, he also misses some important chances. So I wouldn't say Kudus isn't a bad signing, but I think I'm pretty happy with the sign so far. And I also heard news that we reactivated Morgan Gibbs-White's release clause of $60 million from Forest, even though today I heard that Forest are taking legal action against Spurs because they haven't talked to. I don't know what was the exact reasoning, but they say that there was something illegal they have done. They say that we've made an illegal approach for Gibbs-White, but hopefully we can get that sorted out, and hopefully he'll actually come to the club. So Gibbs-White is actually a pretty good player for Forest. He's actually doing pretty good with Wolves, even though he did fail out with Wolves. But in Forest, he was cooking. Specifically, opportunities that he created, the chances that he could have had on goal when he played for Forest. Yeah, he isn't a bad sign at all. If we can get this legal stuff set out, and I'm heard that we could be getting Wharton next from Palace. which isn't a bad midfielder at all. Morton, actually, seeing how it plays, hopefully he gets to win the ball back, or at least try to make sure midfield is stable. You know what I mean? Because our existing midfielder is just off the course. And last season, our midfield was the reason why we kept losing a lot of games, or at least conceding goals, if you know what I mean. So, if we can get that over the line, then that'll be great. Or we can also look into other midfielder options abroad as well, or within the club, within the league. Then I'm also hearing that we're scouting or admiring Wissa because he used to play for our current coach's team when he was at Brentford. I think Frank was at Brentford, to be specific. So if we can get another forward in, considering he's actually a good forward because the amount of goals he consists and the stuff he does up front isn't really that bad. Same for Mohammed, but I know the latter is probably going to go to United soon, or get to United are going to get that deal done. So, well, I'm happy with the stuff that we're progressing in July. I think there's still work to be done. There still needs to be a number 10. Well, could be maybe another striker. You know, which plays up top a lot. But that would be nice if we can get another one. I'm just asking for too much. Maybe another winger. No, we have Johnson. Then Gibbs-White should be our number 10. Hopefully if we get that over the line. But still want a number 10. I know Eze turned us down because he chose Arsenal. But that's just another story to talk about. Then we still need another good top quality center back, where it's one of the top players from the La Liga, Bundesliga, is looking to Atletico center back options, Betis options, as well as Betis' midfield options. I think Cardoso's a baller, so if we can't get Wharton, we should definitely go for him. That's just my saying in this case. So we're trying to get some deals done. So I'm surprised our owners are making some signs, having a change of heart. We already spent 55 million already. Looks like we keep spending over 100 million since we win something. I don't remember when's the last time we spent over 100 million in one window. I don't remember, to be honest. But if we can get these signs working, identify the players that we need, and then use that money to strengthen our squad, and maybe get over the line consistently, then I think I'll be happy. And we still need to address the fullback options, considering that, of course, you can't trust Porro and Yogi and Spence to do a job all the time. Even Spence at left back, he was struggling a bit towards the end of last season. I think he just gave up. So we don't know if he can do that, Tom. He isn't bad at left back nor right back, but we don't know if he can do it job. I think same for Porro. More of the time he gets cooked at right back. Most of the times during the season, but most in crunch times of the season, he stepped up, such as the Europa League stuff. And same for Udogi. We just don't want, I don't want a fullback that doesn't get ran through on the wing, or doesn't or doesn't allow the players on the flanks the opposing players on the flanks to cross. You know what I'm saying? Because we also concede goals from crosses or set pieces. Most likely crosses. There's also set pieces involved as well. Same for our back line too, especially this last season. We had to spend most of our time with our main starting center backs Romero and Mickey Van de Ven. So I don't know if Takai can do a job. So I do want another top quality center back that can step in as well. Same for Draxton as well. I know he's injured, so he probably won't be the same after he comes back from his injury. But I don't know if he can do a job at times, and sometimes he's also a bit clumsy in defense at some points. Same for Davis. Davis is too old. I know this guy signed a contract extension, but he is too old, and he's also been getting cooked at some times. So I don't trust him at defense anymore. And I guess if you're looking at our current midfielders, not sure if Bergvall and Gray can be trusted. I know Bergvall's a much better midfielder than Gray. Sometimes, even when Gray starts, sometimes he gets cooked. We don't know if they can do a job consistently. And the same thing goes for Bentancur, Bissouma, and Sarr. It's the same thing. So, happy that our club's making some progress. I know I was a bit upset last video, disappointed last video that we're not building upon a success that we won a Europa League, but glad we're moving in, I guess, a more positive way when we're at least getting at least a couple players over the line in our squad. So I think this is, if we can identify more quality players and get them over the line, we can definitely respond well to how Liverpool, when they won the league, they got in Wirtz, Kerkez, and Frimpong. They're probably addressing to look in for another striker. And when you look at City, even despite them not winning anything, they brought in a whole starting 11 from winter of 2025 to the summer. They brought in 4 players in the winter and brought in at least 4 or 5 players during this summer. So you got a new starting 11. And they identified the targets they wanted, and boom, they're at their club immediately. So, like, they got Marmouche, Kristanov, Nico Gonzalez in the winter, as well as Victor Reese. Also brought in Ait Nuri, Cherki, Reinders, and what else did they brought? That's probably about it from what I remember. They brought in that during the summer of 2025. So I know they're moving serious, as well as Liverpool. And United has been, I guess, even though they've been a bit quiet in the transfer window, I know they got Mateus Cunha for 62 million, despite not winning anything and not competing in Europe for the first time in a while. They've gotten Cunha in, and it looks like they're about to get Mbeumo in. They also got a Paraguayan center back in as well. So now they're moving serious. Even the 3 new clubs that just got promoted, Sunderland, Burnley, and Leeds, they're all moving serious. They got players from Spain, got players from the Premier League, they got players from Bundesliga, they got good players in, who I think they can make a difference to help them survive and not instantly get relegated. Burnley, Sunderland, and Leeds, respectively, they're making moves quicker than us, even though all 3 of their goals is to make sure they can survive in the Premier League and build upon it. And looking to Chelsea, they've gotten 2 strikers in the window. They also gotten a winger as well. Maybe I do want to consider Arsenal a bit, but I think the only good signing they got in is Zubimendi, because I don't think Norgard, Kepa, Madueke are good signs, to be honest. Especially they lost, I guess, one of their best midfielders in Partey. That's just, you know what I'm saying? So most of the clubs around us are moving serious. So I'm glad we're responding, I guess, taking steps into a serious club. No, in my opinion, don't think Arsenal are moving that serious, besides the Zubimendi signing. But, you know, I guess I do want to go off a bit tangent that mostly of the Arsenal signings are just bum players from Chelsea. That's just my saying. I've seen it with Jorginho, Willian, David Luiz, Madueke, Kepa, Havertz, and Sterling. So, but that's just a tangent I'm going off of. So, but I'm glad we're moving serious as a club. I'm glad Spurs are moving a bit serious. Now, if we can get more signs in over the line, not wait or negotiate or just stall on a deal. I think we can get somewhere, and hopefully we can at least arrive at least one silverware. We're in 5 competitions, so it'd be nice if we can at least win one of them, and specifically 5 competitions that we have a chance of picking up a trophy. That's all I want to say. Win one, and hopefully we can continue to build on more successes, because like I said, we need, like our chairman said, our board said, if we want to win everything, then continue making the investments. You don't need to spend that much, but at least spend it wisely on the players that we need. That's it for me, but thank you for guys for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and thumbs up on the channel. I'm out.